what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Reddit logo. It's a nice fun logo to make. If you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some black wool, some white wool, and finally, grab yourself some red wool. That's right, you'll only be needing those three colours, so once you have those, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you'll want to kick off your Reddit logo with a row of 21 black wool in a row on the floor. That's 21. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Just like that. And once you have your row of 21 black wool, this is what you want to do next. So come all the way over to the left hand side of your row of 21. You're looking for the first block. On top of this first block, you want to do 2 black wool coming directly up. So that's 1, 2. Then do 2 up right diagonal. So that's 1, 2. Go to the right of the second upright diagonal by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1, and 2 is basically just placing a block right here. Go to the right of the second bottom right diagonal by 1. Then take out your white wool, and still going right, just do a row of 3 white wool, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then take out your black wool and go to the right by a further 2, so that's 1, 2. Then do 2 upright diagonals, so that's 1, 2. Go up on top of the second upright diagonal by 1. Then go to the right of it by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Connect everything together by just going down from the second bottom right diagonal by 1, and once you've done that, you should be left with a shape that should look a little bit like this. And what we've essentially just done there, we've just made our Reddit logo's feet, the alien's feet. Once you've done that, we can now continue on. And by the way, guys, there is quite a bit of backtracking in this tutorial. There's just a lot of parts that require us just going back on ourselves. I wish it was different, but it's not. So once you've reached this part right here, come all the way over to the left foot. And you're looking for this block right here, starting from the right hand side of this row of 4. You basically just want to be on the block just to the left of that corner. So this block right here, and on top of it, you just want to go up by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then go to the left by 2. So that's 1, 2. Then do 2 upper left diagonals. So that's 1 and 2. Go up on top of the second up left diagonal by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. And go up on top of it by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up on top of it by 1. Then go to the right by 1. Then do an upright diagonal. Go to the right by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom right diagonal. And go to the right by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do an upright diagonal. And go to the right by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom right diagonal. And go to the right by 1, and then go down by 1. Then do another bottom right diagonal. And go down by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go to the left of the second bottom left diagonal by 2, so that's 1, 2. Then connect everything together by going down from the second block by 2 to give you something which should look a little bit like this. Kind of looks like a love heart, doesn't it? This is our alien's body. Once you've got that taken care of, what we can now do is add in his arms. Like I said, there's quite a bit of backtracking. We can't make it in one nice big circle, unfortunately, which is what I like to do, but we can't. So, once you've reached this point right here, you now want to come down to the left middle-ish of your pixel art, and you want to find this block right here, where we have this flat row of 3. You want to, from this middle block, go up on top of this block by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go up on top of that diagonal by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up on top of that diagonal by 2. 1, 2. Then connect everything together by doing an upright diagonal to give you a shape which should look a little bit like this. And as you can see, that's just our logo's arm. Pretty easy. Once you've got that taken care of on the left hand side of your logo, you now want to do the exact same thing all the way over on the right hand side. So coming over to the right hand side now, going on top of this middle block of this flat row of 3 that we have, you want to, on top of this middle block, do a row of 3 coming directly up. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then do an upright diagonal. And go up by 3. Everything's free. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal. And go up by 2. 1, 2. Then connect everything together with a single up left diagonal to give you something which should look a little bit like this. And we have just about half of our pixel art done at this point. We've got our alien's body and we have his little tiny feet. So once you've reached this point right here, we now have the pleasure of making the head. So again, once you've reached this point, pause if necessary, whatever you have to do. Once you have reached this point, come all the way over to the upper left hand side of your logo and find these 2 blocks right here. I'm sure that you guys can find these no problem. On top of these 2 blocks, just place a single black wall, just on top of both of them, like that. Once you've done that, you then want to go left of this block, the block that you've just placed, by 1. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go left by 1. Then do 2 up left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go up on top of the second up left diagonal by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. And go up on top of it by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then do an upright diagonal. Go on top of that diagonal by 1. Then go left by 1. Then go up by 1. Left by 1. Then go up by 2. 1, 2. Go right by 1. Up by 1. Right by 1. Then up by 1. Then go right by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Go down by 1, right by 1, down by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Then go left by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal to connect everything back together, and the shape that you want to have formed so far is this, and basically that's the left hand side of the head and that's also the ear as well. Backtracking left, right and center with this tutorial. So once you've got that taken care of, you now want to return roughly back to where we were before we started doing like bottom left diagonals and all that, and you want to, from this block, this one right here, go right by 2, so that's 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. And go right of it by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then do an upright diagonal. And go right by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do a bottom right diagonal. And go right of that diagonal by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then do another bottom right diagonal, and go right by 2, 1, 2. Then go up by 1, right by 1, up by 1, and then right by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then go down by 1, then right by 1, down by 1, right by 1, and then down by 2, 1, 2. Then go left by 1, then down by 1, then left by 1. You then want to do 2 upper left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go left of the second up left diagonal by 1 to connect everything back together, and as you can see, just to show you what we've made since the other ear, we've just formed the other ear. I figured I'd show you since we've backtracked a bit and then we're going to have to continue from another point. So that's what you want to have for basically the top of the head and the other ear. Once you've reached this point right here, we can continue on. So coming back to the bottom of the right ear now, coming down from this block that we started doing like up left diagonals with and what have you, going down from this block, just do a single black wool. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go down from it by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals. I almost said 1 then, but you want to do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go to the left of the second bottom left diagonal by 1. Then do another bottom left diagonal. Go to the left of that bottom left diagonal by 2 to connect everything back together and give you a shape which should in total look a little bit like this. It's piecing together, isn't it now, guys? This is our alien's head. Once you've reached this point right here, all we have to do now is his antenna and his facial features. So once you have reached this point right here, I guess, yeah, we'll do the antenna first, why not? So come all the way up to the top of your alien's head. You're looking for the slap bang center block of the head, so it should be this row of 5 here, and it should just be the third block coming in from either the left or the right. Going up on top of this block, you want to do 2 black wool, so that's 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal, and go up by 1. Then do another upright diagonal, and go up by 2, 1, 2. Then do another upright diagonal, and go to the right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go to the right of it by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go to the right of it by 1, and then do 2 upright diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go to the right of the second upright diagonal by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go down from the second bottom right diagonal by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go to the left of the second bottom left diagonal by 1. Then connect everything back together by doing 2 upper left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2 is basically just placing a block right here, and as you can see, just like a Moogle, he has like a big antenna thing on the top of his head. Once you've formed that shape right there, as I mentioned, all we have to do now are our alien's facial features, and then we can just colour him in. So, once you have just done his antenna all the way up there, I assume it's an antenna, I don't know what else to call it to be honest with you. Once you've got that thing with the ball on top of his head, you then want to come all the way down to the bottom of the head. you're looking for this row of 5 right here. Basically the exact opposite row that we have at the top. On top of this row of 5, you want to take out your white wool and stack 2 rows of 5 white wool directly on top of the base row. So just like that, just stack 2 rows of 5 white wool on top of that row of black wool. You then, on top of your second row of white wool, want to stack another row of black, so just do a row of 5 black wool. Then, starting from the left hand side of your row of 5, from the first block, do an up left diagonal. Then go left of it, by 1. Then do another up left diagonal. You then want to pretty much do the exact same thing on the right hand side, so coming to the right hand side now, coming over to the 5th block, just do an upright diagonal. Then go to the right of it, by 1. Then do another upright diagonal, and what you should find is once you've done that to both sides, you have your alien's nice little happy smile. Once you have that, we can now do his eyes, so we'll start with the left eye first, why not? Coming over to the left hand side of the smile, where we have this single black block, and the reason that I hesitated was when we did the left hand side of the smile and I kind of paused, I was going to do the eye included, but I figured we'd take care of this and then do the eyes. So on top of this single black wool that we have here, take out your white wool and go up by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then take out your red wool and go up by a further 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have your row of 4 red wool, you then want to do an identical row directly to the right of your red wool to give you 2 rows of 4. You then want to extend out the 2 middle blocks on the left and right hand sides of your 2 rows of 4 red wool to give you a nice plus shape like this. And that is your alien's left eye. Once you've got that taken care of, we now want to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the right hand side. So coming over to the right hand side here, on top of this single black wool, just do a row of 3 white. So that's 1, 2, 3. Followed by a row of 4 red, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then next to the, to the left of the row of 4 red, just do another row of 4 red. And then just extend out the 2 middle blocks on the left and right hand sides of your rows of 4 red to give you something which should look ever so slightly demonic, but it's right. A little bit like this. That is exactly what you want to have, and that's all of the facial features that you have to add for your Reddit alien. And once you've got that taken care of, all we have to do now to fully complete our logo is just fill the entirety of our logo in with white wool. And that means everywhere. You've got to fill in the little ball with the antennae, you've got to fill in the 2 ears, the head, the arms, the body, the feet, everything. So I'm going to cut out here, I'll fill it all in because it's going to take a little while, he's actually relatively large, and I'll be back in a moment once he's completely filled in. So this is what your logo should look like once it's been 100% fully filled in, just completely white other than those menacing red eyes and that creepy black smile. Nice and easy, not too difficult I think, barely any detail, but I've got to tell you, I really do like this logo. I've been on Reddit a little bit recently, I've started getting into it a little bit more and I figured why not? Why not make the Reddit logo? There's very few like social media logos and actual logos of stuff that I actually want to make, and I don't know, what's wrong with a nice happy little fun alien? So hopefully you guys have also managed to make this no problem. You may have noticed throughout the tutorial my voice kind of killing out on me and what have you, and I might sound a little nasally. I apologise for that, I've not been very well as of recent. I can't stop getting these damn colds, guys, but you know what? I can't stop it making me make videos. That's a good sentence. I'm gonna keep that in. So hopefully you guys have managed to make this no problem. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'm so grammatically correct, it's unbelievable.